as you might know by now, this is our last show for the semester. That being said, my Christmas gift for all of you SportsLine viewers is my presents for the final episode of SportsLine. No need to thank me. Hello, I'm Riley Gwen.
And I'm Gonna Good. The countdown to Christmas has begun, but sadly, the countdown for the final episode of SportsLine of the year has arrived. Don't worry though, we've got an amazing episode lined up for you this evening. And fear not, we'll be back bigger and better in the new year. Now let's get into it. You're watching LaSalle TV's Home for the Explorers Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. While we were home for Thanksgiving break, the Explorers are still out and going, and we have everything you might have missed coming up.
And later, we're going to talk about how my cross-country season went down.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, it is finally time for the Big 5 Classic for the basketball teams. The women will play Villanova on Friday, December 6th, while the men will play on Saturday, December 7th at the Wells Fargo Center.
Number 2, this past Saturday, the men's basketball team played rival Temple University in their second sold-out arena, making it 2 sellouts in only 4 games.
Number 3, Corey McKeithen is named Big 5 Player of the Week. McKeithen led the Explorers to their first win over Temple since 2017, defeating the Owls 83-75. The graduate transfer set a new career high, scoring 28 points. This win qualifies LaSalle to the second ever Big 5 Classic Championship game this Saturday at Wells Fargo Center.
All basketball.
All basketball.
That's fun. There's a lot to...
No ad-lib.
That's it for the top 3. Now let's see how this teams did for this week's recap. Last weekend, the men's basketball team traveled to Daytona Beach, Florida to compete in the Boardwalk Battle Tournament. They first took on UC San Diego. UC San Diego started off hot, opening with a 14-3 run that prompted a quick timeout from LaSalle. Despite the slow start, the Explorers fought back, relying on strong rebounding to close the gap. A 9-0 run by LaSalle trimmed the deficit to 17-12. Both teams struggled offensively midway through the half, with just 9 combined points scored in a 6-minute stretch. UCSD maintained a 24-18 lead entering the final media timeout of the half. The pace quickened in the closing minutes as Corey McKeithen's back-to-back three-pointers cut Triton's lead to 1. Deshaun Shepard then hit a clutch turnaround jumper in the dying seconds, giving the Explorers a 31-30 lead into halftime. The second half opened with a flurry, highlighted by another McKeithen three-pointer. However, UC San Diego got ahead 40-37 by the first media timeout. The game turned around into a tug-of-war with both teams exchanging leads. McKeithen's hot hand continued with a LaSalle triple, giving them a lead of 54-51, advantage midway through the half. The Explorers then hit a wall offensively, and during a 5-shot scoring drought, while the Tritons capitalized with back-to-back threes to pull ahead 64-57. Despite a late push, LaSalle couldn't overcome the deficit, falling 72-67, their first loss of the season.
Despite the defeat, they showed up to play their second game of the tournament against UIC. LaSalle started strong, opening with an 8-point burst in the first 2.5 minutes to grab an early lead. Though the Flames quickly tied the game at 8, the Explorers continued to push the pace, building a 20-12 advantage midway through the half, behind the points from Corey McKeith and Deshaun Shepard. The game's tide shifted late in the first half after a Mac Eaton hook shot gave LaSalle a 28-21 lead. UIC responded with an 8-0 run to claim their first lead, 29-28. The Explorers fought back, with Jones and Jahlil White combining the 6 straight points to regain the advantage. With under 4 minutes left, Tunde Wallenberg Versace sparked LaSalle with 5 quick points, but UIC closed the half on a 13-0 run to take a commanding 48-39 lead into the break. UIC kept their foot on the gas after halftime, opening with a 11-3 run to stretch their lead to 59-42. Despite the strong play from Shepard and Jones, the Flames kept the Explorers at bay, responding to it every mini run with points of their own. Andres Marrero and Vundig Visasi tried to rally the blue and gold, with Visasi's three-pointer cutting this deficit to 16 points late. LaSalle fought until the final whistle, trimming the lead to 11 with less than a minute remaining, but the UIC held on to secure the win of 96-83.
Their final game at Daytona Beach consisted of playing Stetson University. The game started as a back-and-forth affair with both teams wanting control. McKeithen's led early a charge for LaSalle, scoring 6 off the team's first 9 points and grabbing 3 rebounds in the opening minutes. After building a 27-21 lead thanks to back-and-back McKeithen three-pointers and a putback slam from Etienne, Stetson responded with a 7-0 run to take its first lead of the game. LaSalle fought back behind Deuce Jones, who scored 4 straight points to give the Explorers a brief advantage. The teams traveled the lead several times in the closing minutes of the half, with Stetson grabbing a 41-35 lead. However, quick buckets from Jones and Andreas Marrero in the final seconds trimmed the deficit to 1 at the half, 41-40. The Explorers came out firing after the break, with Etienne and Marrero combining for 11 of the team's first 13 points to build an early 53-45 lead. LaSalle's offense exploded in the following minutes, powered by a 16-3 run that included contributions from 5 different scorers. Deshaun Shepard capped the surge with a three-pointer, giving LaSalle a commanding 69-48 lead. Stetson tried to climb back into the game using an 8-0 run to cut the lead in a single digits midway through the half, but the Explorers remained poised and remained with 6 free throws and timely baskets from Shepard and Ryan Zahn to keep the Hatters at bay. A late N1 by Etienne sealed the deal, as LaSalle stretched the lead back to 15 points to put the game out of reach, ending with a LaSalle win in Daytona.
Men's basketball matchup against Temple University at home this past Saturday. Once again, Corey McKeith delivered a star performance for LaSalle, scoring a career-high 28 points. This followed his previous career-high of 27 points in the team's win over Stetson. McKeithen was backed up by a strong defensive effort with Deuce Jones and Deshaun Shepard, with only 1 point separating the team after 6 minutes. Demetrius Lille made an early impact, scoring the first 5 points for the Explorers and continuing to dominate, racking up 9 points in the opening 10 minutes. Corey McKeithen layup stretched the lead to 18-11 midway through the half, but a Temple run closed the gap to 24-22. Andreas Marrero capped off a strong defensive half with his third steal, leading to a McKeithen bucket that sent the Explorers into the locker room with a 42-33 advantage. LaSalle opened the second half with back-to-back three-pointers from Deshaun Shepard, giving them a 50-39 lead, their first double-digit advantage of the game. The Explorers continued to build the lead, with Jaleel White pushing the gap to 12 points and Demetrius Lille extending it to a game-high 15 with a three-pointer at the 11:58 second mark. Temple began to shoot more, cutting the lead to single digits with under 7 minutes remaining. White responded with a clutch and one play to bring the lead back to 11, but Temple refused to fade, pulling within 4 points twice in the final minutes. With a score at 77-73, Shepard threw down a momentum-shifting dunk that hyped up the sold-out arena. Despite Temple's best effort, Jaleel White stealed the win for LaSalle with a key rebound and free throws in the final minute, ended the game 83-75.
The women's basketball team battled through a tough challenge from the American University Eagles, securing a 67-58 win on Wednesday evening. LaSalle set the tone from the opening tip, with Ice Magassa scoring a quick layup to start the game. The Explorers' fast and aggressive play kept them in control early, but the Eagles matched their energy. The first quarter ended with LaSalle leading 17-14, thanks in part to strong free throw shooting. American fought back in the second quarter, taking their first lead after a pull-up jumper from Bailey Garvey. Despite trailing by 4 at one point, Tyranisha Bowers delivered a timely three-pointer to put LaSalle back on top 32-31 in the final minutes of the half. Asa closed the half with an N1 play, giving the Explorers a 35-31 lead at the break. Aris Mactoon took over in the third quarter, scoring consistently to push LaSalle to an 8-point lead early. Although the Eagles fought back to tie the game at 44, Mactoon's efforts were crucial in breaking the deadlock and extending the Explorers' lead in the final frame. American briefly regained the lead 49-48, but Bowers answered immediately to put LaSalle back in front. Despite a late push from the Eagles, the Explorers' offense and defense held strong, pulling away the closing minutes to secure a 9-point win, ending 69-60. The team then hosted Lehigh University at home last Tuesday. The game started weak as Lehigh opened the scoring with 3-pointers, but LaSalle responded quickly. Aris McToon and Ashley Connor led the way early, combining for 10 points in the first quarter. Though the Explorers trailed by 4 at the end of the frame, in the second quarter, freshman Joanne Quinn helped spark a LaSalle rally with 4 quick points to tie the game at 20. Connor's mid-range jumper midway through the period put the Explorers back in front strong. Contributions from Mackenzie Dalebra, Anna P., and McToon closed the half on a high note as LaSalle built an 8-point lead and headed to the locker room up 34-29. Lehigh came out strong in the third quarter, slowly chipping away at the Explorers' lead. LaSalle fought back, ending the third quarter with a slim 49-48 advantage thanks to timely defense and plays and clutch free throws. The final frame featured multiple lead changers. Bowers gave LaSalle the edge with a step-back jumper before back-to-back 3-pointers from Ashley Connor and Jolene Armendariz pushed the lead to 7. Lehigh made a final push, getting within 1 point, but Connor sealed the win with clutch free throws in the dying seconds, winning the game 65-62.
LaSalle women's basketball played a hard-fought game home against Temple University this Sunday. The game opened in a back-and-forth fashion that set the tone for the rest of the game. Mackenzie Daleba sparked LaSalle early, scoring and distributing to help the Explorers take a slim 2-point lead into the second quarter. LaSalle built the lead to 6 points midway through the second, but Temple took control, scoring crucial buckets to tie the game at 19. Ashley Connor answered for the Explorers, scoring 8 points in quick succession to regain the lead. However, Temple finished the half strong, taking a 38-30 lead into the locker room. LaSalle fought back in the third quarter, chipping away at Temple's advantage. Jolene Armendariz provided a crucial spark, draining a 3-pointer with 3 minutes and 41 seconds remaining to put LaSalle ahead by 2. Armana Diaz followed up with a fast break layup, helping the Explorers close the quarter with a 51-47 lead. The fourth quarter was tightly contested affair. Temple reclaimed a 2-point lead with just over a minute remaining. Unfortunately, LaSalle fell short, losing 73-68. Lastly, this past Tuesday, the women's basketball team traveled to Chicago, Illinois to take on Loyola Chicago. The Explorers came out with energy, establishing an early lead behind 4 quick points from Mackenzie Daleba. Despite a late push from the Ramblers, LaSalle held a 7-point edge at the end of the first quarter. The second quarter started with a bang as freshman Joni Quinn nailed a second chance change 3-pointer to extend the Explorers' lead to double digits. However, offensive was hard to come by for both sides, with the teams combining for just 19 points in the period. Daleba led all scorers with 8 points at the half as LaSalle carried a slim lead into the break. Loyola mounted a strong third quarter push. The Ramblers closed the gap and even tied the Explorers late in the period. LaSalle responded with composure thanks to clutch plays from Aris Magassa and Aris McDoon. The duo ignited the offensive in the fourth quarter while the defensive stood firm. LaSalle made a strong statement at the A10 opener, securing the win, holding Loyola Chicago to the lowest point total of the season in a 55-45 victory.
McCallum Rowe and our very own Gwen O'Good represented LaSalle University in the NCAA National Cross Country Championship meet, held at the University of Wisconsin. Gwen competed in the women's 6K event and placed in 99th place with a time of 20 minutes and 31.4 seconds. This marked her first time competing in the NCAA National Championship meet. In the men's 10K event, Rowe placed 135th with a time of 30 minutes and 7.6 seconds. His performance was a significant improvement as he beat last year's time by 1 minute and 4 seconds. With the cross-country season now complete, both Good and Rowe, along with their team, will shift their focus to preparing for the upcoming track and field season.
The LaSalle swimming teams had an outstanding performance at the 2024 Queen's Fall Frenzy, setting new program record and achieving multiple podium finishes. Both squads showcased their depth and talent, with the men team scoring 640.5 points to finish 6th, and the women's team tailing 754.5 points for the same placement. For their first 2 days, the women's 200-yard freestyle relay, Emma Van Selm, Tori Venn, Marine Shukr and Gabriisa teamed up to secure a 4th place finish. In the men's 200-yard, Andrea Savacco tied the 4th with a time of 1 minute and 49.68 seconds. The men's 50-yard freestyle had Felix sprinted to a 3rd place finish in 19.83 seconds. The women's 400-yard medley relay consisted of Emma, Gabriisa, Tori and Carlotta clocked a 3 minutes 45.2 seconds to set a new LaSalle program record. The men's 400-yard medley relay consisting of Felix, Andrea, Noah and Carter combined to finish in 3rd. For day 3 and 4, the women's 100-yard butterfly, Camila Frost broke the program record, finishing in 55.14 seconds. The men's 100-yard butterfly consisted of Felix dominating, winning the event in 45.4 seconds, setting a meet record and a new program record. In the women's 400-yard, Felicia Rogel placed 4th with a time of 4 minutes and 21.93 seconds. In the men's 100-yard breaststroke, Andrea Savacco captured the title with a time of 52.79 seconds. In the 200-yard medley relay, both men's and women's team claimed 3rd place, with a women's team of Van Selm, Harberenta, Fen and Ngo setting another program record. In the men's 100-yard freestyle, Jetta Bratt claimed 2nd place with a blazing time of 43.18 seconds. For the women's 200 breaststroke, Gabriisa secured 1st place with a dominant time of 2 minutes 14.8 seconds. The men's 200-yard breaststroke had Savacco winning his 2nd event, clocking 1 minute 56.33 seconds to break his own program record, which he had set earlier in the prelims. Lastly, the women's 200-yard butterfly, which Camilla Frost and Felicia Rogel placed 3rd and 5th, respectively, with times of 2 minutes and 0.2.5 seconds and 2 minutes and 3.41 seconds. Wow. So
Good job with the numbers.
No,
Okay, well, we have a lot of good stuff this week.
No,
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, me and Gwen are going to go over her season. Did I just miss the part?
Dear University of...
Thank you for your offer.
To become student ID number 283471.
While I appreciate your desire
For my impeccable academic record,
I must decline the opportunity.
to get a generic degree,
I've decided to tell my story.
To be a student.
not a statistic.
I wish you good luck in the future.
As I embark on mine.
Welcome back. I have the lovely chance to sit down with our very own Gwen O'Good to talk about her cross-country season. Hello, Gwen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
That's good. So I'm just going to get right into it. We've
Okay.
talked cross-country a lot, pretty much on our show. So how did it feel to be named the most outstanding rookie performer at the A10 Outdoor Track and Field Championship to win gold in the 3K steeplechase?
Yeah, so this was last year in the outdoor track.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what the steeplechase is, you might not know, so I'll explain it to you.
Tell.
So it has like a barrier. It's pretty big, and you have 4 dry barriers, so you just jump over on the track, and then there's one wet one barrier, where you have to jump over like quite a big puddle of water, and then you run around the track about 7.5 times, I think. Maybe I'm a bit wrong. I think it was 7.5 times.
Okay.
So yeah, it was cool. It was So that was my second or third time doing the steeplechase at the A10s Championships. So it was still fairly new, but talking to the coaches before the race, they were saying, just go out, enjoy it. You have a good chance of running really well. Just trust yourself and see what happens. So yeah, it was pretty cool coming out, like finishing with a win and to get Rookie of the Year. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. And then you just competed in your NCAA championship. You want to talk about that? How did that?
Yeah,
you and
so
Mac?
that's why I wasn't here last week. So thanks to Liv and Ange for covering
Yes,
both
thank
of us
you
really.
guys.
So yeah, it was cool. It was in Wisconsin. We traveled up. We went to Chicago before, like a little pit stop, had some good food, and then we traveled all the way to Madison. It was cool. I kept telling the coaches, oh, I'm fine. Like, just because there's big schools and big athletes, I'll be fine. Like, they're not going to scare me. And then when I started the race, I got scared.
And there was a lot of people. How many? I don't think people really understand how many people were there. Can you just like?
There was quite a few. There was, I want to say about 250, maybe. A bit
And
more.
you're all running at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
So,
is
yeah,
crazy.
all in one line and then go straight like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, in other races, people barge, but in NCAAs, they're rugby tackling. Like, they are going for it. There is no, like, prisoners.
And did you take any
Well,
barging?
I tried, but then I was getting barged myself. So I was like, oh my gosh.
And then can you walk us through your experience competing in the NCAA Nationals and achieving personal best like your 6K?
Yeah, so it was cool getting personal best every time I raced. I feel like every time I raced, I got more confident and more comfortable about competing at the front. At the start of the season, I had really no expectations. Well, I had few expectations, but so yeah, it was cool to make it to NCAAs. It wasn't something I had at the start of the season, so it was cool to finish off with that.
And then back to the steeplechase. What aspects of training has contributed most in your success of that event?
Oh, I think a big part of it is my coaches, especially Tom Peterson, which is the head coach. He actually did steeplechase himself, and he's trained other people like Grace Mancini to race really well in the steeplechase. So having him help me and teach me has been very helpful in my success, I guess.
Definitely. And what are your goals for the rest of your time at LaSalle, both academically and athletically?
Academically, I think I have to remind myself that I'm also a student and not just an athlete, because I tend to forget about that part. But with running wise, I feel like just to continue to progress, and hopefully the team can progress as well. I'd like to maybe place a bit higher in A10 cross as a team this year. Well, last year we were 9th, this year we're 5th or 4th. So hopefully next year maybe win it.
Yeah.
But definitely win it before I finish LaSalle.
Yeah. Okay. And then do you have any long-term ambitions in athletics, such as competing internationally or continuing your career beyond college?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I put too much time and effort and like mental thought into running that I'd want to continue. My goal is in the summer to go back home and continue to race. So hopefully do Europeans, track, and I'd like for my parents to see me run, because I know they like see pictures and videos and they hear all about it when I call them, but I think it'd be nice for my friends and family to see me actually race and not just see photos.
Yeah, and then obviously you had an impressive start at LaSalle. Can you share what inspired your journey into track and field and cross country as a whole?
I didn't actually start running until a lot later off in school, like high school. But I did a lot of football, and then to get better at football, I did a lot of running, and then I found my love to running, I guess. I think it was just the reason why I like it is because it's all on you. So if you want to get better, it's on you. Where football is more of a team, which I love the team, but you have to rely on other people. Yeah.
And what do you love most about LaSalle cross country and track and field?
The team. It is honestly like my sisters. I love them to bits. Sometimes they annoy me so much, especially some of them I live with. I'm joking, I love them. But nah, I think only so much you can do on your own, and having the team really does help with getting better and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I can't wait to get more trophies for our desk with track and field. That is me telling you, not
Okay,
Hoping.
I'll
Thank
bring
you.
him.
Thank you. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we have all of this week's upcoming games. Stay tuned.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems.
We live in a country that incarcerates its own people more than any other nation in the world.
The individual can age out of crime. He or she, 9 times out of 10, is no longer thinking like he or she once thought when they were 18. This is a good time to have a second look for everyone. We have 50 years of data that proves to us emphatically that the old way of doing things no longer works.
Welcome back. We have a busy week of Explorer Sports, so here's what you have to look forward to. Women's basketball will play UPenn in their Big Five Classic game on Friday. Men's basketball will compete against their Big Five matchup, St. Joseph's University, this Saturday in the Big Five Classic game at Wells Fargo Center.
Men's and women's track will compete in the BU Culinia Danville Opener in Boston, Massachusetts, Saturday at 10:15 a.m. Men's swim will host UMass, and women's swimming and diving will travel to Rhode Island to compete against the University of Rhode Island, both on Saturday.
That just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorers play, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For our entire SportsLine team, I'm Riley Kapchuk.
And I'm Gwen Good. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.